The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Welcome to Honest American News. We're honored today to have Mr. Doug Vogt with us. He's caused a lot of commotion in the world of the fraudulent birth certificate issues surrounding President Barack Obama. Mr. V, glad to have you on Honest American News, sir. Thank you for dropping in.
Thank you for inviting. How could I help you, or what questions did you have for me?
Well, I've got several, but why don't you start out? Everyone pretty much in the quote-unquote birther universe knows who you are, knows your name, but for the folks that are just hearing you for the first time, could you just give us a brief overview about what you've accomplished and where you're at with it?
Experience-wise, I've been in the graphics business for about 32 or 33 years, both selling scanners as well as repairing them, and also I owned a typesetting company for about 10 or 11 years. Paul Irie, my associate, had owned a large typesetting company, typographer in New Jersey and New York City, where he had been in the business for about 50 years. So collectively, Paul and I have 83 years experience in the graphics, type, and imaging business. So that's our expertise. It started back in when Obama gave released his long-form birth certificate. It was April 27th, I think, or was it 24th, 2011.
You're talking about the one they call the COLB, C-O-L-B?
Yeah, COLB stands for Certificate of Live Birth. That is what they call the long form. Basically, the long form is a blank form that the hospital gets from a state Department of Health. They fill it out, and the mother signs it, the doctor signs it, they date it, they fill in all the information, and they send it to a state Department of Health. This is true for all 50 states. And then the registrar will go over it, make sure it's signed in black ink, no cross-outs, typed in clean, and then they'll date it, they will number it, and they will sign it. And then it's officially called filing or registration. The key of understanding that the certificate number was out of sequence in relation to the certificate date, the date of acceptance, was I read all 50 states' laws on birth certificates and discovered it all came down to the terms of filing, and registration. So that process happens at one time, one day, and that's it. So if you know the average number of births in the state, you can actually figure out within a few days or a few hundred numbers what it should be. You know, I got so good as if I knew the number, I can get within a couple of days when the registration should have been. Or if I had the registration date, then I could tell you within 50 to 100 numbers what the registration number should have been. And Mike Zulo from the Arizona Sheriff's Office, as well as those that tested me, used to say, "Okay, I got a date here. What should the number be?" And I did, and I told them. Now, in that process, once you know what the law is, I was able to identify 5 or 6 other forged numbers, forged birth certificates, that they created because the first mistake they made, which is in June 12, 2008, on the short form, was they put the wrong registration date for a registration or state file number of 10,641. Elizabeth Nor and I released her twins' birth certificates in 2009. I think it was June, the end of June or end of July, and in a newspaper article, and showed proudly her microfilm copies of her 2 daughters. Her daughters were Gretchen and Susan. Susan's was 637, and Gretchen was 638. And they were accepted by the state registrar on the 11th. Obama's number was 10,641, so 3 digits more than Gretchen. And it cannot possibly be. That was one of the first things I spotted when I first wrote my first affidavit back in, I think it was May 11th, May of 2000. 11.
Well, that seems pretty clear.
Yeah, it is. You don't have to go further than that to know the number's been forged. And so that was the first mistake. To figure out any great secret, you have to find what mistake was or what somebody did that another group of people had to react to. And that was the mistake. And so they generated multiple other forged numbers, certificates, both short forms and long forms. And there is a table on the sealed affidavit, which is now unsealed, unfortunately, that people have put up onto the birth report or inscribed, and you'll see the table, and you'll see how many were generated. And
yes, I've read that. It's very, very interesting information.
All those people know each other. What was interesting, the ones that knew each other, all their numbers were exactly 25 days off. All of them.
Well, is there any hard evidence whatsoever that the gentleman, Mr. Obama, was born in the state of Hawaii?
No, even the governor confessed to his friend Steve, who worked for the Hollywood Reporter, and I have that recording. I think it may be on ObamaForgeryBook.com on the left-hand side, where he freely says openly that, the government says, hey, he can't find a birth certificate. And it's because Obama lied to these people. Remember, they're all socialists and Marxists. The governor, Abercrombie, was head of the SDS in Hawaii. So
yes.
Raving communist. No
Yes.
big secret. Everybody knows it. And
yeah, they're not exactly hiding anymore either, are they?
no, of course not. But actually, the joke is on us is their philosophy is communism, socialism, but they practice national socialism.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And I really prefer not calling it fascism. They should deserve being labeled what they are, National Socialists. I want to drape that thing around their necks like a stinky fish.
Well, now wait a minute. What was the guy, Adolf Hitler? Wasn't he a National Socialist?
Yeah, he's the one. Yeah, that's the whole point. He's the one who took basically Keynesian economics and mixed it with Tammany Hall.
Yeah.
And you wound up with it. Now, actually, it was Mussolini who called it fascism, which is state-run capitalism. We call it now crony capitalism.
Yeah.
But it really is. The Germans really perfected it, and it's really the most accurate way of describing it is National Socialism.
Well, now you said a magic word to me. You said the word Germany.
It's left wing, not right wing.
Yeah.
Hitler used to say, instead of workers of the world unite, he would wind up saying, workers of Germany unite.
Right.
So that's the difference. I mean, it is National Socialism is what FDR just loved, and what we're basically practicing now. They just want to complete it by removing most of our rights so the state can control us more.
Well, what's your opinion on the information that has been brought forth by this guy from United Kingdom, the intelligence guy, Michael Shrimpton?
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.